Hey everyone, I'm Candace.
I'm Latoya.
And I'm Sherelle.
And we are Sistas Unscripted.
Thank you so much for joining us.
We are completely unscripted, where we talk about all the things, all the shit, whatever we want, from the eyes of Black sisters. So stay and kick it with us.
Let's get into it.
Hello, sisters.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Sisters Unscripted. We are starting this episode a little bit differently today. We actually have an awesome company that Sherelle will talk a little bit more about how she met this person. But with her being a flight attendant, she bumped into this guy, and he actually owns a company called Nebula 9 Vodka. And he was ever so gracious and decided to send us some of his tasty drinks. So during the episode, Latoya and Sherelle are going to try them. I'm not going to try them today just because I'm not feeling at 100%.
Weak.
We will preface this. No drinking if you're under the age of 21. So we don't condone drinking under the age of 21. So if you're 21 and older, go and get this product. A little bit about Nebula 9 Vodka. So Neb 9 are adult cocktails that are made with premium vodka mixed with real fruit juices to create a clean, delightful taste. Enjoy these cocktails chilled or on the rocks and prepare yourself for blast off. Neb 9 is as smooth in taste as it is in landing. It's simply exquisite. So it says on here it's made with potato vodka. It's made with real fruit juice, sweetened with stevia and agave nectar. It's infused with apple cider vinegar. No sugar is added, which that's awesome. And it's also gluten-free. So you can actually follow them on Instagram at Nebula 9 Vodka. So Nebula 9 Vodka. Sherelle, do you want to talk about how you met the owner?
Absolutely. So when I was flying out and about, Keith Davis, he stopped me and we were talking for a little bit. And, Black people like to support other Black people. So I mentioned about like the podcast and stuff like that. And you talked about how he has a company, Nebula 9 Vodka. And he's like, yeah, just where are you at? Like, I'll send you some stuff. That was pretty cool. And then some of the things that stood out is this vodka particularly, well, the drinks, I should say, the cocktails, how they're created is it's designed to not give you hangovers and stuff like that, which is actually pretty cool. So I'm excited to try them.
Show us what the can looks like. It's actually nice and sleek. Is that the pineapple one?
This is the pineapple one.
Ooh, and then Latoya has the grape. As of right now, they have pomegranate, blueberry, Moscow mule, pineapple, passion fruit, and grape beyond. These all sound delicious.
This is equivalent to 2 shots, 9% alcohol, 9% alcohol per volume. I believe that's how you read that, but I don't know. When I drink, I just like to drink to get drunk. So I'm stoked. Also, I've already had some Moscato, so fuck it, let's keep it going.
Well, while we are doing this episode, we will be sipping our drinks with Nebula 9 Vodka. So thanks, Keith. We appreciate you.
Kid.
Yeah. Thanks for supporting us, and we can't wait to continue to support you. Absolutely. Now we are going to get into the episode. So we're going to start with, our internet tings as we do. But I actually wanted to start with the Am I the Asshole? So let's start with that first before we get into kind of the topic.
Before you do the I am the asshole, I'm going to open up my pineapple. I will sip on mine. And then when Candace is done with I am the asshole, we can give our opinions. And then after we give our opinions on pineapple.
So we're going to start with this, Am I the Asshole? So this one says, Am I the asshole for wanting to end my relationship 2 months before my wedding? So this is a male. They are 42 years old, and their fiance, who is female, is 39. So let me read this. It says, after 3 years and wedding planning, I have decided to break it off with my partner. She is beautiful, smart, and can be fun, but she is also critical, controlling, questions nearly every decision I make, and does not compromise. I have been dealing with this for quite some time. The reason why I have not broken up with her is because I avoid conflict, and it was easy to just deal with it and not fight. Now, after a stupid fight while I was on vacation, I have decided to end it. I admit she has found some shady stuff in my text messages 2 years ago. We worked through it, I thought. But when I responded to a text with a misspelled text, I was trying to text and didn't have my glasses, so I sent gibberish. She and I argued for 18 minutes on the about what I meant. Oh, okay. I'm reading exactly what they're saying. She and I argued for 18 minutes. They probably meant to say about what I meant by the text. After that phone call, I felt drained and done. The thing is, we are 2.5 months away from getting married. I know that sounds whatever that means, but I had to take a step back and look at my life. Could I deal with arguing with this person for over 30 years about something so small? My question is, how do I break this off with someone who cries instantly, which will make me crumble and change my mind? And then on the bottom it says TLDR, which means too long, didn't read. I need help with breaking up with my partner whose tears get me all the time. So, my
Damn.
question to you guys is he the asshole? Sherelle, let's start with you.
Nah, I think he's fine. I don't have a reason why he's not an asshole, or why he is an asshole, but like, no, I think he's fine. I do think, however, maybe when it comes to breaking up, how you would navigate that is maybe for me, I would write down the possible scenarios and what I would do in those possible scenarios. So that way I have a good plan of attack and I can stick to my plan and stick to my boundaries since I'm thinking about it without emotion, right? And then that way, if they were to be all emotional and stuff, I have a plan of attack and I won't necessarily waver from my plan if their emotions want to change my opinion. Anyway, that's what I would do. Good luck to you. It sounds difficult. That's why relationships suck. That's why you should never get married, because just being single is, I shouldn't say like being single, because obviously I'm not. However, know when it's the right time. You know what I mean? Like when you need to just take some time for yourself. There's nothing wrong with being single, especially knowing that like people are an inconvenience, and I hate fucking being inconvenienced. Also, I'm talking a lot because I'm a little tipsy. Take it away, Toya. Yeah, bitch, I'm a lightweight.
All right. Well, she did say she had Moscato before this call.
That's
So,
true.
Yeah, but that was only a cup.
You just said you're a lightweight, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So, LaToya, what are your thoughts?
Oh, this is a hard one. Is he the asshole? I mean, that's how I feel about it.
Don't think too deep.
I know, but I always think deep. I'll put it this way. I think since they've been having these problems for years, it sounds like, and that he's never had the courage to have the conversation, because he stated that he what did he say? That he can't navigate conflict or doesn't know how to handle conflict or is avoidant. It sounds like another avoidance, or maybe postpone the marriage, you know? Maybe they're just not ready to get married. Because how can you tell the difference between cold feet and what the truth actually is? Because I mean, how did you get engaged to this human after you've known all these things? And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I said, "Skirt, hold up, rewind that information that he sent a text saying that it was a misspelled word from her part." Is that what I understood?
No, he sent a text, and apparently I think he said he didn't have. He said, I was trying to text and didn't have my glasses, so I sent gibberish. So he responded with a text that had misspelled words.
Oh,
So
okay,
I
got
didn't
you.
give the full context of that, but what I got from that is that it probably looked like to her, well, you don't even care. You're not even sending me a proper message.
Right. I'm just like, I would say, instead of calling it off, I would say postpone the wedding and try to figure it out. And if it can't be saved, then might as well call it quits. I don't know I mean, it's the avoidance thing for me. You've known all this and you still asked this person to be your wife. So I'm like, and now you're finally catching up to not liking the ways that she shows up for him. And now you're going to call it off 2 weeks. You know what? Thinking about it, there we go. Yeah, I do think he's an asshole. Like, regardless of, and the reason why is like, there's all these things that we're saying no from the beginning, and you talked yourself out of it, and now you come to really realize that it doesn't work for you, when that could have been solved a long time ago if you just went in and navigated it with communication. And if a conflict comes up, the conflict comes up, and how do you resolve it? And then you have more data to know if this is really going to work or not. And I think it's kind of shitty to leave her in 2 weeks before they get married. And it doesn't hurt just her. It hurts like both families, I think. So that's my long-winded, finally came to an answer. I'm going to say yes. I think it's an asshole move to do.
Devil's advocate, it's so much easier to talk about other people's relationships when we're not in it. You got to be realistic. And I'm not saying you as a toy, I'm saying you as in general. People do really stupid things when they're in love, especially when they're dealing with potential conflict with people that they do love. You're hoping that things will change. You know, you're blinded by love, you're blinded by hope. So I don't necessarily think it's fair to call him the asshole because we don't know the intentions that he had going into this marriage. We also don't know what work that they could have been doing to, it's not going into this marriage, going into the proposal and whatnot. So I don't know. There's a lot of context that we just don't have. And because there's a lot of context that we don't have, I don't think we have enough information to be like, you're a fucking ass. But also we don't have enough information to be like, you're not the fucking asshole.
But I mean, he said that he can't navigate conflict.
Yeah, but also it sounds like she can't
avoidant.
navigate conflict either. Like, it sounds like it's a them issue. Because if she could navigate conflict, then he could learn from her. You know, like, I don't know. But anyway.
But that's not her responsibility.
But
Like,
that is your responsibility if you don't say yes to a proposal. But hey, we can agree to disagree. I agree with what you said. I also think boundaries are well, I agree with you said as far as you should call it off and work on the issue. Give yourself a timeline to work on each other or to work on yourselves separately and then come together to work on each other together. And if you can't figure it out, then you just got dicks at that point. You just wasted time.
Well, my thoughts on this whole situation is I feel like I do believe that he is the asshole, and I will say this. I do agree with the idea that LaToya stated. This person has stated clearly in his post that he is not good with conflict and that he more or less has not brought up any of this conflict. That's a problem. If you've been with somebody for 3 years and counting, and I think it says 2.5 months away from the wedding. At that point, you've had how many years to come together to resolve conflict? It's not her. She can't read your mind. If she doesn't know that there's a problem, then that's not her responsibility to read your mind to figure out if something's wrong or not. And if he's not placing boundaries with her when she's coming up with if she's having a situation or she's upset about something that quote unquote to him is stupid, how does she know it's stupid if he's not necessarily providing the information to resolve the conflict and not even resolve the conflict? Not saying he's not trying to resolve it. He's avoiding it. He's being very avoidant, and there's probably obviously there's some part to blame on her side as well. But this is what we have. This is the information that we have. He's the one who decided to come online to ask if he's the asshole or not. And So where I understand where you're coming from, Sherelle, that we don't have all the information, but this is the information that he provided. I'm looking at it very straightforward as these are the facts that he gave us. Obviously, we don't know everything, but he's stating he's not good with conflict. He hasn't brought up any conflict, and which means he's the one who's always more or less compromising with her, which causes resentment. But if he's not providing that communication with her, how does she know that? And so, and also another thing, I do feel that he's the asshole because, and I'm not saying that they need to go through with the wedding, because absolutely not. They definitely either need to go to some form of counseling to figure something out, postpone it, or they need to just call it quits and move on with their lives. But the fact of the matter is, if you're avoiding conflict, but yet you're continuing to go on with a wedding that you've probably put a deposit down, she's probably bought a dress, you've probably put a deposit down for catering, you probably send out invites at this point, probably done engagements. That's thousands of dollars spent of not just your money, but her money. And if we want to be traditional, most marriages, the mother and father of the bride are usually the ones spending the money. If that's traditional. Again, there's a lot of things changing in our world and how people show up in relationships, but I'm just going based off of, if say they're a traditional couple, then at that point he's wasting her money and her family's money. There's a lot more we could talk about it, but reading through some of the comments, and a lot of people agreed that he is the asshole because, again, they're saying that they should communicate. You are a 42-year-old male. You have to learn how to communicate. If you don't know how to communicate, you do not need to be in a relationship. You need to figure out what's going on in yourself and learn how to communicate, because that's not fair to her. It's not fair to yourself, because you are, what did I say earlier? He's constantly compromising something that he doesn't want to compromise. But again, she doesn't know that if he's not communicating. There's my 2 cents. Any last thoughts before we move on to the next thing?
I'd hate to be in a relationship with you guys. That's it.
Well,
Well,
the funny thing the funny thing is, you are in a relationship with us, girl. We're your sisters for life. For life.
Okay, next.
Said.
Oh, yeah. Let us know how the drinks are before I move on to the next thing. Sherelle, you talk about it.
Okay, I'm going to try to do this in a minute. This is actually very nice. I'm not mad at this at all. I don't like alcohol. I don't like cocktails because they have a strong alcohol taste. And I hate the alcohol taste, but this is nice. I like the flavor. I like the juice, and I don't feel heavy. I'm not mad at this for someone that doesn't like alcohol.
Are you drinking all of them during this episode?
Yes, bitch.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I might not be drinking all of them, but I am going to be drinking.
You're going to try each of them. Okay.
Correct,
I was going to say, that's a little buck wild.
Yeah, I'd be like calling sick in tomorrow for work. I ain't showing up.
But listen, it says that
you
don't have, it says that it doesn't cause hangovers, so.
You're right. Lydia at work. Just kidding.
Latoya, what about you?
I would agree. I really liked the flavor of the pineapple passion fruit paradise. It actually is not like, the no sugar thing is real. It's not sugary. I think it's like the flavors are nice, like the real fruit in it. And it's really smooth, actually. So it's like, it tastes like juice, which is dangerous, y'all. When it tastes like that, you're about to get turned. Okay. But it's very delicious. I really like it. I'm also cuddling my elephant. And we're enjoying this beverage very much.
Well, okay.
Should we move on to the next one?
Come on, Keith. Bring on the nebula.
Pompey Blue Cosmo next.
Which one?
The red one, Pompey Blue Cosmo.
Pompey.
Is that the pomegranate
one? This one.
The pomegranate?
I assume so. Yes.
Alrighty. Well, while you guys are opening those, I'm going to go to the next thing. So we're going to go to internet stuff. Okay. So this next thing, I saw this on the internet where it said, not to be dramatic, but therapy should be invoiced to the people who caused the damage. Thoughts about that, LaToya?
No, I disagree. And the reason why I disagree with that is because I forget what I was watching yesterday or what I was reading or something, but they said like there's a certain time when you go from childhood into adulthood. When you become an adult, it's your responsibility to navigate the healing process of what you've experienced. You can't always be blaming the other people that caused the trauma in your life. You can talk about them, for sure, but it's not their responsibility, like for them to cure your trauma. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. Um, because you can get a sorry all you want, but does it really heal the impact? No. And so I agree with once when you they said graduate into adulthood, it is your responsibility to figure out what your healing journey is. Because even like I have a therapist, she's amazing, and she even said this, which kind of that gave me some peace, is that even in the most incredible family household with incredible parents, with incredible siblings that are always there for you, rooting for you, all the things, hardly any kind of trauma, there is still going to always be a father womb and a mother womb because no one's perfect. We're humans at the end of the day. And you can like, what are you going to say? Like, Mom, you didn't like pour my cereal that one day and I felt trauma and like, I'm going to send you a bill because you didn't pour my cereal right. Like, that's crazy. So I disagree. I think like I said, you can get this, all the sorries from all the people that you feel hurt you, but even that doesn't solve or heal as much as you would need to work through the process of why it's still and how it's showing up in your life, how it's still affecting you and how it's still showing up in your life through other people or through other things. You know, if those are my 5 minute cents.
Okay, no, that's interesting. Sherelle, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, same. I agree with everything that LaToya said. I don't think I have anything else to add to it. Surprisingly.
My thoughts. I like the concept. I mean, I agree with you, LaToya, but I like the concept. I do agree with the concept of that we are in charge of our own destiny. But I would say I had a really, really bad experience that happened in childhood. I didn't ask for that. So as a child, you're trying to learn how to navigate the world, and parents are supposed to help you navigate that to a certain degree in childhood. And I think that it would be nice because, listen, them therapy bills be racking up. But I agree with you guys, but also the fantasy side of my brain would really love that idea because there's some stuff that happened in childhood that I'd be like, can you please write a check to so-and-so therapy, please, for this thing that you did to me when I was 9 years old? Please and thank you. But I'm talking about like the deep wounded stuff that really has shaped who you are. And so it would kind of be nice just to have someone else pay for a problem that they caused. It really coming back around to the end of the story is that to quote Will, oh no, he says the moral of the story. Moral of the story is, though, at the end of the day, it is our responsibility. I do agree. It's at a certain point in your life, you can't depend on those people to apologize for something. At the end of the day, you have to choose to either forgive them or move on with your life and make those choices to find peace, to find inner peace, to be able to live your life because we can't place blame on people for the rest of our lives.
Okay, playing devil's advocate. Using your example, Candace, in your analogy, let's say, you know, we all know that you're an awesome parent and have like the best intentions. We also know that you have one autistic son that may need more assistance than the other. And because of that, then maybe the other child has developed by your actions indirectly has developed a and independence, and because she never comes first. I use it never loosely, right? She never comes first. She's always feeling overshadowed, but your intention is never to do that, right? And then you're going to expect her to come back to you and be like, hey, mom, here's this bill.
No, I get what you're saying. That's why I was saying earlier, I don't know if I use this exact phrase, but like if a parent is deliberately doing something to you that you didn't ask for, that's not the child's fault. You know what I mean? So it really, at the end of the day, like, I agree with you guys, but also I'm just saying, in fantasy land, it'd be nice for somebody else to pay for my therapy bills. That's all. It's not that serious.
And I was just playing devil's advocate because, I like to argue, especially when I'm intoxicated.
Yes.
Well, and I'm just gonna say, as I quote the legend, the icon, Otame, 10s and 20s. Is that what she says?
Yes, she does.
At the bank? Yes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's from Ghost, the movie that Whoopi Goldberg won her Oscar for Best Supporting Role. It's a brilliant film, and she's hilarious, and 10s and 20s.
10s and 20s.
That being said, real quick, Toy, what do you think about this one?
I think it's really tasty. I will say I liked the pineapple one a little bit more, but I think those folks who like the cran pineapple, berry, I don't know if this is it pomegranate kind of flavors, then they're really gonna dig this.
Y'all slurring.
No, I'm not tipsy at all.
Yeah, I am not the intended audience for this one. I'm ready to go on the next one if you are, Toya.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to go on to the next internet thing. This will be the last one before we go into what Sherelle has planned. I saw this thing on, I can't remember the name of the Instagram page, but it's a really popular page. But it said something under the lines of like every 2 months to recover from work stress and to recharge yourself, you need to be going on vacation. And while that is nice in Fantasyland, that would be fantastic. But with what PTO and with what money are we doing that with nowadays? With these gas prices, these grocery prices, that would be real nice. But who? Listen, a lot of us, I just barely saved up vacation like 1 week. And I've been at the company that I'm working for, almost 2 years. So it took me a while to get to that point, clearly. And a lot of my vacation that I do use is used for taking care of my kids or doctor appointments for them as well as myself. So a lot of that isn't spent on doing fun things, but that would be fantastic if I could do that. But what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Toya, you go first.
It makes me so mad to hear you say that. Rage. Because yes, in a fantasy world, that's the viewpoint of like the 1% that like are literally on vacation all the time because, they have all the money in the world and they're hoarding everything to make it harder for everybody else. And then, yeah, like I would love to go on vacations every 2 months. I only can imagine what kind of team morale and what kind of work would actually come out of that because you're actually getting the rest you need and you're actually trying to figure out the whole work-life balance. Because it's been scientifically proven that when you have the rest that you need and you are living your own life when you're working, it actually brings up the work quality. So I'm like, in theory, that sounds incredible. And I wish that was like something that was true, but it's not. It's not for everybody. And that's such a privileged kind of ideology. So if you're able to go every 2 months and you're on the budget that we've got, then let us know. Let a bitch know, because I would love to figure that out. But in reality, it's even hard to take like a weekend off because when I take a weekend off, I'm still working, doing my artistic stuff. So like there's no days off unless like maybe a week. And even then it's too short. So I would love that to happen, but I just don't think that exists for the majority of people who live in this country.
Well, and I mean, I don't know how true that this is, but I saw something that recently stated that they had a list of states. Utah was one of them, actually, and it said uh, even people making over $100,000 a year are still considered lower middle class now, which is, if that is true, with the way that prices are going, I can see that being true. But again, it's I don't have the research behind it, but uh, like I said, with the way that things are going, I could see that being a true thing. But it's just interesting. Sherelle, what are your thoughts on what I was talking about?
Yeah, same. There's a lot of people that are out of touch uh with the average person, and it shows in a lot of conversations that they have or suggestions that they make. Like it's kind of like one of those things I saw on social media where gosh, how many seconds do you have in a day? Like 8,000 something something something. Anyway, and they are always like 8,164 seconds. 8,164 seconds to make a good impression. And then, they say all these stupid things. They're like, that's how many seconds are in a day. So this is how you can make your seconds work amazing and blah blah blah. And it's like, shut up, dude. Like, you don't have our normal problems. It's kind of like how Kim Kardashian was like, I would love to know how much a gallon of milk would cost. And then you're going to sit there in the same breath and be like, I'm a human too. Like, yeah, you're a human, but you don't have the problems that we have, that the average person has. So that's why people find it really hard to relate to people like you, because you talk like a fucking fool. You know what I mean? So that's it.
Well, okay. Well, that's all I have for internet things. So, Sherelle, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we're going to finish this episode out with some of your questions.
All right. So,
Wait, what's the next drink before we go into it?
Moscow Mule.
A Moscow Mule.
Latoya, and I have just this one, and you have the grape one to drink. So, that being said, just figure we could spend the rest of the time having sister questions. And I don't know what Candace is going to do, but if you don't want to answer, then you got to drink.
Good thing I have water.
Anyway. Okay, let's start with which family member annoys you the most? Candace, you can start. And in one answer, say why. Or one sentence, say why.
Sherelle, you annoy me the most. And I think it's because it's hard to answer, but it's because, first, can we preface this that we're not going to be having hurt feelings over this?
Of course not.
This is legit just like us being sisters, and it's not serious. It's not that serious.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, perfect. I would say you, Sherelle. And I think you annoy me the most because you try to get reactions out of people for no reason.
That's fair. Toya?
I'm not going. I mean, it's hard to say one. Because it depends sometimes. For real, that's my honest truth. Both of y'all do from time to time. It just depends on the situation or whatever, and time.
Do you care to elaborate on that or no?
I mean, probably the biggest thing would be when you both are fighting for the same thoughts, but you're just expressing them differently.
That's fair.
So you're misunderstanding each other. And so the listening goes out the window, even though you're literally saying the same thing. And then I just sit there going like a ping pong ball, going, that's all.
Sherelle?
For me, it's gonna be both y'all equally. I don't have one that is more annoying than the other, but I would say both of you guys equally because I don't feel like either of you understand me, and that's fucking annoying. But I would say you guys are getting better at being aware, aware of your emotions, and then also what I'm telling you. like how I've told you to accept me. So I feel like you guys are getting better, and I appreciate that. But y'all still both annoying as fuck. Sorry, man. Which sibling would you trust least with your secrets? Latoya.
No. I'm
Or
going to drink. I'm going to drink.
Candace.
I'm going to say Shirelian. And I only say this because sometimes in the past, you have used some of the things I've said in the past against me when we argue.
What else am I supposed to use against you, bitch? What else am I supposed to use against you? Like, Candace, you suck because you're so gorgeous. Absolutely fucking not. Of course I'm gonna bring out the worst. That's unrealistic that she would say that. But it's okay, I respect it.
Terrell, your thoughts?
I don't really have one. I think maybe I'll switch it. The person that I would trust more with my secrets in the way that they'll just take it and not let it affect them or affect their day is Latoya. I feel like Candace, you'll be more of an empath, and then you'll like take on my emotions when I actually just needed to vent, if that makes sense. Or if I just need to something, I just wouldn't want to fuck your day up because I know my fuck up day would result in your fucked up day. And I can appreciate that as a sister, but I also don't want to fuck your day up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm, that makes sense.
All right. Who's the most toxic in relationships?
I don't have an answer for that because I'm truthfully answering. I don't know what happens behind closed doors when you guys are in relationships, so I can't answer that.
Off of what you know.
Truthfully. No, I truthfully can't answer that.
Okay. Toya?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I would say, I mean, I kind of feel like you, Sherelle.
Why?
Not in your current one,
Why?
but like past ones where you and this is like a trait I feel like that we all have. When I say this, the reason why is because you put on the role of wanting to fix and save someone, and so you stay for a very long time when you know that you probably should need to go, and so you tolerate a lot of the things that someone does because you don't want to abandon them or leave them, because you want to fix them or be there for them because you're a very caring person. You know, that's why.
Sure, I'll accept that. I would say I am also probably the most toxic in a relationship because I'm a petty bitch. You know what I mean? Like, if you give me, I'm also super understanding, and I don't resort to pettiness until it's like the last resort, but I'm really good at mental mind games, and I will mentally fuck someone over. But like, that's a superpower that I'm like never trying to use unless someone brings it out of me. You know what I mean? And that's like super rare. I'm talking to the camera right now. Anyway.
Okay. Next
Biggest
question.
liar.
Based on what? Because are we
Right.
talking about based on childhood or based on adulthood?
You decide.
Well, I would say based on that's hard because I think I want to say you, Sherelle, but also I know when I was younger and we were all younger, we all lied in a way to protect ourselves. So there's that. But I know that, but I will say you a little bit more only as far as childhood. I say now I feel like you're just very, very honest, maybe sometimes a little too honest for some people, depending on who it is. But back in the day, I mean, you've even mentioned yourself that you lied just to lie when you were younger.
Yeah, I lied a lot. Lying was so easy for me. But now why do I need to lie? Like, I'm not gonna get beat for it.
Yeah, just tell them that's human nature.
Shut up. Why was that song stuck in my head? I hate you. That is
What?
so funny.
Did they do me that way?
All right, Latoya.
Well, first all, I have to first plug the next drink that I'm going to be drinking.
Oh, we didn't
by
talk about the
myself.
Moscow Mule.
Oh, we didn't, did we?
No.
Hold place on the question. What I enjoy ginger a lot, so I enjoyed that. I think it's tasty. And
This wasn't
also,
as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I
See?
would agree with you.
don't judge a book by its cover. That's all I have to say about that. And no, Candace, I'm not tipsy yet.
And because it's like natural
Aren't you
and they
now?
have the natural juices and stuff like that, it to be fair, this seems less artificial. It would probably help your stomach too, Candace, as weird as that sounds. Because we do also recommend drinking a ginger ale on the plane when people feel queasy. They don't ever listen to us for whatever fucking reason. But whenever they decide to give in and they trust us, like, wow, I should have drank it when you guys said to drink it. Like, listen to your flight attendants. We kind of know a thing or two. But anyway, so yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Yeah, I dig it. Well, now I'm moving on to my solo drink, which is the Grape Beyond. And I feel like I'm an alien from the Grape Beyond.
Sugar, water, purple.
Purple drink. Sugar. Okay. To answer the question now, the biggest liar. If we're talking about, well, I don't know. I feel like all of us I kind of agree with what Candace said. I feel like we all felt it necessary to lie as
On each other?
kids. Yeah, I know, girl. I know. She's trying to. We lied on. Here's the thing: we lied on Sherelle when we were kids to not get in trouble because ass beatings were real
So we
ass
sacrificed my
beatings.
ass?
We did. We did. And
At
we
least you're honest.
We weren't
apologizing.
going to be
At
upset.
least you're honest. At least you're honest.
Of course, I'm honest. But like, yes, I mean, but I feel like we all lied on each other to save our asses from a severe ass whooping. So I'm going to say all of us as kids. As adults now, I think that I would agree once again with Candace and say, like, I think that we're more honest because those survival things aren't really a thing. And especially like, Sherelle, you're so blunt and honest as well with like what you say. It's like, yeah, I just feel like because we have that trust and we're not going to have those kinds of negative circumstances when we tell the truth or not tell the truth. I think that's given us the opportunity to just be honest and truthful with each other. So, because I mean, to be fair, back in them heydays of the childhood, when we would tell the truth, we weren't believed until we were forced into leaning into the lie to appease our parents. And we're like, let's just get the ass whooping over because even I just told you the truth and you didn't believe me. So now just to get shit moving, I'm just going to take the ass whooping and say, yeah, I lied. That happened a lot in our childhood too. So not to get all serious and stuff, but like, I think that mixture of information no excuses, but I think that kind of programming made us go like, we got to save our asses and just lean into whatever our parents say. We're just going to say yes,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right, last question. And then LaToya, we'll hear your thoughts about the grape. Who has the most delusional confidence?
These questions seem tailored. Sherelle, why don't you answer that one first?
Yeah, Sherelle.
I don't think delusion is a bad thing. I think delusion is what helps drive you. So I would equally say you two have the most delusional confidence.
How so? Explain.
Because, like, you need to imagine yourself in the most delusional way, right? To create a path to get there. And so people might think, LaToya, you being a movie star is delusional, but to you, is that really delusional? Absolutely not. And you're going to find a way to get there. Candace, same thing to you, right? Especially because like your guys' paths are a little bit different because you're a single mother, Candace. LaToya, you're not a single mother. Well, you don't have kids. So like the paths are different. So I don't think delusion is a bad thing. I think you have to be delusional to be successful. Because if not, you're just going to stay in your reality, in your boxed reality, and you're not going to achieve shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, I dig it. I dig it.
You know what? As they say, Delulu until it becomes Trulu or True or whatever, right?
Trululu.
Trululu. Because I mean, I agree. I think I listen to a lot of folks who are like huge manifestors or like practicing manifestation, and they say like you do have to lean into your delusions, because then you can actually start to see it. And if you can see it, then you can be it. And then if you be it, then you can make it all come true and bring it into the actual physical reality versus it staying in the dream realm, right? And so there is I do agree with you, Sherelle, like there is a certain amount of delusion that you need in this world because you have to, the thing is you have to believe it fully so it can actually be here. Like, I mean, y'all, Michael Jackson, yes, of course, is coming up because I'm obsessed right now again with one of my, idols and inspirations as an artist. And he even talked about like, you have to see it. He wrote that he's going to be the king. He's going to be this, he's going to be the greatest. I don't think he just wrote it down. He did everything he could to make to make it real. And he had to believe in it fully to make it real. So yeah, I'll lean into it. Yeah. I'm proud to say that yes, I am fully delusional because I wanted to make my dreams come true. And that's important to me in this life that I have, because I have big dreams and big goals to achieve with the time that I'm given. So I will say, yeah, I think that I would say all three of us have a beautiful delusion about ourselves because we are destined for greatness and we don't need to be apologetic for it.
Wow, I love that because, it's so interesting. Sometimes I feel, I don't want to say narrow-minded, but I think sometimes my literal mindset and the way that my brain works gets in the way in a negative way, because when I heard her say delusional, I thought she meant it as a negative way. But hearing you guys say and turn it into a positive, I was like, oh, I like that. So I'm gonna throw away the negative idea of delusional, and I'm gonna pick up on the positivity of the delusional side that you guys are talking about. So I'm going to say I have to agree then. So I would say all three of us as well, because you look at Sherelle, she's had like so many different jobs because she's wanted to figure out where she wanted to be. And look where she's at now. She decided she wanted to be a flight attendant. She's a flight attendant. LaToya, you decided one day that you've always been performing or whatnot, but I remember you were working for Marriott, and one day you're like, nope, I'm not doing that anymore. And I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say all the jobs you've had since then have been some form of creativity. Even the bookstore, I would say there was some creativity that came from there. And then, where you're working now, and obviously you're performing and the Motown band that we're in. So I thank you for expanding my mind today, ladies.
I love that. And I'm so happy you accepted that. But I also feel like we all have a lot of, like, that just goes to show, your own mind can get in the way. But if you can warp things and think of it in a different way, then you're good. But I also think we all have examples of that. Like, I remember I was going through when I was writing down these questions, I went through my face-to-face interview examples just for being a flight attendant. And I put down there, it was like, 10 years ago, I would think that this job was so out of my skill set and so out of my reach. Not like, being a flight attendant is great, but I also know that some people have different heights that they're looking forward to, you know what I mean? But I found a way, and now I'm juggling with the idea of being a pilot. And if I really want to be a pilot, I will, even though I think that's way out of my skill set, but I swear to God, I promise you, if I want to be a pilot, I'm going to find a way. And that's how everyone is too. You know what I mean? Whenever they have a thought, have a goal, they'll achieve it.
Y'all, I don't know if it's this delicious grape beyond,
Ooh, tell us about it.
but I'm just saying, like, I felt so inspired right now. Like, what did you say, Sherelle? I'm gonna find a way.
I
I
think so.
love that. I love
I think so.
I love that. It feels kismet that I'm drinking Great Beyond because we're thinking beyond our circumstances of where we are right now. Like what like we always have dreamed big, and we continue to dream big. And I have to give a shout out to you, Candace, because like you're always. I mean, y'all behind Sistas Unscripted. It was Sherelle's idea, and Candace is the person who like continues to make our dream come true of making sure that Sisters Unscripted is moving, that we're finding our audience base. She edits our podcasts. She makes most of our posts. Like she is the one who said like, I want us to achieve our goal of making Sisters Unscripted something massive and impactful for a lot of people to hear us, to see us, to understand our dynamic. And she puts a lot of her time and her efforts and her work into this. And so, like, if that's not an example of Delulu into Trululu, then I don't know what it is, because now we have over what,
30,000 across all socials.
30,000 people following us. And I'm going to say, like, a lot of that is because of Candace. And so, like, as much as you said about us achieving our dreams, you are achieving yours and also helping us achieve ours too.
I hate to say this, but I feel like I'm turning into one of you guys. We should make that into a shirt. Turn Delulu into Trulu.
Trululu. And
Listen,
go
we are
great-
claiming it right now. Claiming
great
it right
beyond.
now.
Damn, bitch, we should drink more often. Sorry, Mom.
Listen, if Mom were on here, she'd be enjoying these drinks too.
She would. Yeah, I can't wait till she gets on one of these podcasts. But
I know we really just need to get her on.
yes, we
even
do.
if it's just doing it online, and I can help her understand how to do it. Or maybe it's the next time we get together, we just say we're just recording. We'll figure it out. But we need to get her on. A lot of people have asked about her
They
and
have.
want to see her on. They want to hear more from Will. We've had several people actually reach out and say, hey, we want to be on your show. A lot of people that have similar relationships with their siblings, which I think would be very interesting to bring on people that are close to their siblings or ones that are not.
Yes.
That would be an interesting dynamic to hear. And
single or not single,
only children.
Only children, like not versus only children experience and then sibling experience, like siblings experience. I think it's very fascinating. So, let me hurry and talk about this delicious. I really like this, y'all. Sherelle, you would like this too. Candace, you would like this. It tastes like grape drink, y'all, with just a little bit of a kick.
I hate to say it, but I already had. Sorry, guys. That's why
it's
I only got 3
delicious.
drinks.
See, if that's not a good review, I don't know what is, because I think it's delicious.
We should close out with the joy of the week.
Okay, Sherelle, why don't you start with us?
Okay. This is I leave back to Colorado tomorrow, so it was a good time being here and in Utah. In Utah, like I don't live here. And it was cool. And this was fun. I'll be honest, this is probably one of the more funner episodes that I've had. Not saying that you guys are boring as fuck. Definitely not saying that at all. I know it seems like I'm saying that, but I'm really not. I promise you. Please pay attention to what I'm saying and not what I'm acting like. But this was fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, we should drink more. Not be alcoholics, but we should drink more. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it for me.
Toy, what's your joy?
Keith, thank you so much for letting us experience your brand of drinks. I think it's dope, and y'all need to support. Also, my joy of the week was not only my birthday, but also getting to go see my niece perform at her recital with the whole family.
But yeah, that was amazing.
It was amazing.
That was amazing.
With my schedule being so busy all the time, this is my first time being able to see her on stage. And it was just such a cool, it was really beautiful and emotional and cool. I'm just really proud of those little ones doing their thing and finding their path of what they're passionate about and just being able to be there to support them was a joy. So what about you, Candice?
That is also my joy, seeing my little baby girl show confidence and believe in herself this time around, because when I tell you, all of her recitals, her very first one she didn't end up doing because she got really scared. But I was so proud of her that she got up there, because that's hard. And she was probably 5 at the time. There's been a couple years where she couldn't go because she got sick, but all the times that she has gone, she's always been so nervous to the point where she's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I've had to more or less bribe her with some type of reward to entice her to do it. This year, I didn't have to do that. She told me she was nervous, but so excited to do it. And I think having all of you there really helped her, really just give her a boost of confidence to know that she had support to be able to do what she loves to do. And she's so talented. I was so proud of her and the things she was doing. And I'm not just saying this because she's my daughter. This is not discrediting or saying that other people didn't do well, because there were so many talented people there. But my baby girl, she was the best one. She just from her pointed toes, just to her form. And I'm just so excited to see what happens for her as she continues. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys, but she said that she would like to be this. These are her words. One day I hope to be an Olympic tumblist, is what she said.
That delusion. That delusion. Delulu till it's Trululu.
Oh my gosh, are we gonna have an Olympic gold medal in our family?
We might have have a Simone Biles in my house.
Hey.
So, but that is my joy. We are so appreciative of you guys. Thank you again for joining us for another episode. Thank you again, Keith, for your product. We will put his information in the podcast description so you guys can check out his Instagram and check out his product. Support Black business. Support Black business. We love it. But thank you so much again for joining us for another episode of Sistas Unscripted. Make sure you hit that.
Wait. For two seconds, can I show what I've made, the progress I've made? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm redecorating my corner. Anyway, that was it. Okay.
Thank you again for joining us for another episode of Sistas Unscripted. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on the social medias. You can also send us emails or shout outs at sistasunscripted@gmail.com. I will place the phone number in our show description as well. Thank you again for being here, and we appreciate you guys. And Sistas
out.
Deuces. Bye. Tell them that it's human nature. Bye.